politics no ensem bebre na ekoso ewom ade bechi MPP ayese ade bechi NDC ayese NDC force we de na ye MPP force omonso de na ye hwan de na ye eno ti na the Punch TV aba say Ghana politics ni nyina no de ekoso ewo man Ghana mu nyina no ye de ni nyina e de ebrew ewo eye channel ye so message so be subscribe to your YouTube channel na Facebook like video yi e de amame share na ma afofo enya bi hwe na fa o comment nso bra e wo comment section ho e ma me video bi e koso politics mo nsensem bi e koso sisi aba betodwa mayenko ne yenko kwetie ensem no embra
Col.Festus Aboagye, first of all, your thoughts on this, especially because of how this matter has evolved, and now the government giving this detail in response to what the Member of Parliament has been saying.
Or activities. Then we had the chair of the Interior and Defense Committee. At least that was the first response I heard from the Honorable James Agalga, who tended to discount the allegations that the Honorable Ranking Member was making. Then we had the President come into the picture and assuring Ghanaians that his government took the issue of drug trafficking or transnational organized crime very, very seriously. And as a result, he had directed certain specific institutions, the NIB, I think Yoko, Narcotics Control Commission, and the Office of the National Security Coordinator and so on, to investigate. Then I would suppose that then bring him their findings, and maybe he could come back and inform the public. Now, whether this has happened or not, we have had the Director for Communications at the Presidency come in probably yesterday now to give a digit by digit account of what the planes involved were, why they were in the country, and concluded that there was nothing like drug trafficking or money laundering involved. Then I have heard myself, I think on Asempa yesterday, the Ranking Member again taken to the air and seriously debating, the points that or the claims that he had made. And I think one was with the Honorable Dafia Mepo, for instance. The Asempa one, I don't know whom he was with. My sense in all of this is that planes flying into a jurisdiction's airspace in broad daylight, and in one instance staying for as long or as many as 13 days, cannot be a secret flight. But the flyers were seen, including the source, who purportedly gave him that intelligence. So that secret connotation has to be nuanced a bit better by him. Now, that wouldn't mean that certain activities in and around the airport and in the aircraft and between the occupants of the aircraft and certain other persons who went close to the aircraft could not have been of a secret nature. So the Honorable Ofuzukwachi has narrated why they were here, what was contained. I saw sub-jerrycans or some containers and boards in the plane and so on and so forth. And I would have supposed that if I thought that an activity of this nature may be in a place where I live, there is a gentleman who imports tires and they arrive in containers. And then after that, you find a lot of movement from trucks and taxis coming to buy them. Now, if I have some intelligence that this businessman is using the cover of Thai importation to bring in prohibited substances and goods, I don't take to the air. In all administrations, I would have known whom to call. But for a larger part during the former President Kufuor's time, I was not in the country. But even if I wasn't, I would still have found somebody to convey that information to under a certificate of urgency to inform the authorities. And then when the news breaks, I could then latch onto the breaking news and then come in and maybe say, claim some credit for myself that, okay, I was the one who leaked it. In this day and age, I would have expected that somebody would have used his or her phone to record movements from around in and out of the airport in order to give some credence that certain activities were suspicious. So that is the basis why I agree with those who say that, fine. And I'm saying that I don't want to fault the MP. If he chose to go public, he should come with the evidence. Ranking member, you are entitled to make those claims. But where is your evidence? Then he turns around and says that, no, I have rather invited the authorities to come to Parliament and brief the committee or brief the House. Both ways can work. But where is the evidence to help, those who are doing the investigations? So this is where I'm torn in between. I don't want to label the honorable ranking member as playing politics. Because if he's playing politics, he will be exposed when at the end of the process, there is no substance to back his claim. But it may be that he's not playing politics. And because of the seriousness of drug trafficking and transnational organized crime, not only to us as Ghanaians or Ghana, but to the sub-region, the government must listen and compromise or build consensus with the ranking member and see where all efforts can help to unravel this. Until that is done, I think both sides are entitled to their claims. The government saying that there's nothing, the ranking member saying that there is something. Both sides have a responsibility to substantiate.
Well, but
I think this is where my preliminary comments would end.
I see. Well, but yes, Dr. Mutala, and Col.Festus Aboagye, I'll come to you on it, because if you talk about substantiating the claims, I'll find out whether the government's response and the detail given by Felix Kwatio also doesn't suffice, because it shows pictures of exactly what happened, these flights and what they were carrying. Does that answer the specific questions being asked right now, based on at least the concerns raised and the perspective that Col.Festus Aboagye is bringing to this?
Well, let me first and foremost say that my uncle is one of the persons I have so much, tremendous respect for. I have listened to him, on his views on, security matters. He's clothed with the capacity. I think that he's one of the security aspects in this country that we can rely on. But I'm surprised when he says that the honorable member is entitled to his claim and government is also entitled to his claim, and therefore we must all come with, detailed evidence. What evidence, again, does he need government to come out with when government indeed has, indicated that there is nothing to this, except that he has any information that we do not know? I mean, this is one of the reasons why some of us don't see it fashionable to address as honorable.
Why?
The conduct of some of our colleagues are absolutely dishonorable. And I think that the security agencies must not leave this gentleman to go scot-free. He needs to provide the people of this country the answers or the evidence that has informed this outrageous claim that he made. He made statements with certainty. He said that the intelligence, the information they have is that the aircraft was actually carrying cocaine. This is a serious allegation to be made by an honorable member of parliament. And you think it's fashionable to be associated with this title because it is being ramshackled, is berated, that it doesn't come with the honor that is expected to come with. And frankly speaking, he must not be let to go off the hook. And in any case, he claimed that his views were views of the committee. I think that the committee members, including the chairman of the committee, that can never be the view and the position of the committee. If that
the minority,
is that the minority members, and I think that he addressed the people of this country, so he must be held accountable. He cannot try to find solace and comfort behind the minority to make such outrageous claim. And for me, putting fear and panic on the people of this country. Maybe perhaps for Ntim Fojo and the entirety of the minority. If there's any political party that has a record of associated to drugs, cocaine specifically, is the NPP. You have a sitting member of parliament. No, please. Please. This is a statement of fact. You have a sitting member. Can I finish? No.
Let's focus.
No, because it's political. No. Please. Alfred, I'm a politician. I sit here representing a political party. I'm not here as Mutala.
Well, they are not here to defend.
I'm saying no, but why? I'm making a statement of fact. Didn't we have a sitting member of parliament from the MPP arrested with drugs and subsequently convicted in America? So if there's any political party that has an association with drugs, is the MPP. So I'm not making claims that are not founded. These are claims that indeed have been established without any doubt. Mind you, when that gentleman wanted to contest to be elected as a parliamentary candidate of the MPP, there were people in the party who raised concerns about it. He went through all the vetting processes of the party he proudly associates himself with. And that gentleman was elected. And he became a member of parliament. He was arrested with drugs, convicted by a court of competent jurisdiction. So if there is any political party, if there is any political party that has association with drugs, is the NPP. This must be stated. So I have a challenge.
Specifics. For instance, Reverend Ntim Fojo says the specifics about the second flight that came in was not given in detail by Phyllis Kwachu. So they have to come and answer, at least before the Interior and Defense Committee.
I'm saying that if you claim whether this or the other plane or specifics, you were given the opportunity to provide the state agencies clothed with the capacity to investigate this matter with evidence. And then you claim that you could not provide evidence because what you said was the views of the NPP minority. Did we know what they ate the night before he held that press conference? Sometimes, depending on the food we eat, sometimes I'm being focused. I am being focused. Sometimes, depending on the food people eat, they can look. Please, let's get serious. You have a sitting member of parliament who makes such claims. Do you know the consequences of that press conference they held? This was a press conference that was viewed globally. That Ghana becomes a money laundering state. Ghana becomes a country that indeed, it's serious. And for such a reckless statement to be made, not just a secret recording of a member of parliament, they held a press conference sanctioned by the entire NPP minority, because if they never sanctioned that press conference, there was no way he could do the things he did. And the NPP has not condemned or disassociated themselves from that statement. So that is why I'm making reference to the fact that if there's any political party that is associated with that, it's the NPP. Because the party sanctioned that press conference. If they never sanctioned that press conference, they would have condemned same. So I'm saying that the gentleman must not be left to go scot-free. He must provide evidence. It is in our collective interest, everybody, for him to provide evidence as to the certain and conclusive statement he made that the aircraft was actually carrying cocaine. He needs to provide evidence to the people of this country. So with all due respect to my uncle, I respect his opinion so much. I think that the government doesn't need to provide any evidence because government has, except that maybe he doesn't trust in the information that is provided by Honorable Felix, Kwach. But that is government position.
Okay, but because of the questions you asked of Festus Aboagye, I want to find out, first off, that point that you make about, yes, those two opinions, the people, the government and the Ntim are entitled to it, but then they must provide evidence. Felix Kwach has given some information responding to the issues as to what the flights were carrying and how they got in, how much time or how many days they spent. What exactly are the issues that have not been answered for you on the side of government? And indeed, has Reverend Ntim provided any?
I was saying, and some no and the hono so what to be MPP for no at the end some no more can CPP at the end so and I'm chain NDC for so more abine and a was so the omope and no more a year and answer and no any equity at the buy no. Message so subscribe to the Point TV at the Amaye. Share my for be here for comment bra. Now feel so no dear Kosubiano. Chire wadwene efa ho ema yen